Good morning, traders. Vindy here with FuturestraderElite. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Just a second here to set a couple things up. All right. I hope everybody having a good morning so far. So, we've been kind of in a tight range through pre-market. We put in a new pre-market low just a little bit ago. I was watching, if you're taking the higher time frames into consideration as far as the way they look, the 15-minute chart and above, say the 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour, they're putting in some sort of head and shoulder play. I'm kind of undecided on how I feel about being bullish on the day or bearish as far as the market bias. Right now, I'd have to say that when the market opens up, the first 15-minute candle that they put in, if they get above, say, 590, 590, 595, or let's say between 590 and 600. If they run it out of the gate and the first 15 minutes close up there, then I'll be bullish bias on the intraday. At that point right now, I'm undecided. I don't like the way the high time frame charts look. And so I'll probably most definitely sit out the first 15 minutes, more than likely. Don't forget to smash that like button ahead of the stream, ahead of the market opening up. That way it's out of the way. See if we can get us 25 likes on there today. Had a nice little drive out of this pullback here. Right here before the market opened. So they're doing a good job right now. The last 15-minute candle they looked really bad. Had they put another one into the downside, then it definitely would have been bearish to start the day. But now with what they're doing here, now it could still be, say that the market opens here in about 5 or 6 minutes. Say this just gets back up into this channel that they had been rejecting up here, and this rejects, and then the 15-minute candle puts a new low in at the market open, then it's going to be bearish. So what I'm looking at is they need to break, they need to break the overnight high up here or better with the next 15-minute candle or the low right here, the pre-market low. If it closes below the low, probably going to be bearish on the day. Close above the overnight high, which, we'll know when that orb gets put in, the orb high and low, because it'll lock in 15 minutes. And then we'll just see from there what's going on. Morning Remod, morning Cole. The market really seems undecided to me. I'm just going to probably just wait it out. I almost took this move here thinking I was taking this long here, but then I was like, well, I didn't know, it would have been a nice trade now, but I didn't want to get in this trade and then be chopping around. We get close to the open of the market because I'm not real big on holding a position in pre-market through the open of the market. I'd rather be out of the trade. because that could be bad as well. It could be like when a news candle hits, you could be in a trade looking good your way. Looks like it's going to continue on, and then say it slams down to the pre-market low at the open. I mean, you could stop out of the trade, yeah, but I just don't like it. Sometimes with the speed of them candles, them stops don't quite get you out at the price it should. So you don't really know if you're going to lock in where you was at, or if you might end up red, break even. So just a wait and see game. Got about 2.5 minutes, I believe. So now would be the time to make sure you get them game plans together. Our 15-minute low right now is down on the pre-market low. Our 4-hour high way up there by the overnight, or previous day high. Previous day high, 4-hour high, never been broke to the upside or to the downside. The 4-hour to the downside is down to previous day low. So our overnight low is down by this one pivot and another 4-hour zone. There's some 4-hour zones stacked down here pretty close together. Several imbalances on the 15-minute chart to the downside. So it wouldn't be, I mean, they still have a lot to clean up down here with all these imbalances, on this drive up. Don't mean they're going to do it today or this week, but sooner or later, they got to be cleaned up. Got our 2-hour high sitting at the overnight high. 1-hour high is right around the pre-market high, and our 30-minute high right here is where we just rejected out of this top we've been in pre-market. 30-minute low, 1-hour low, 2-hour low, they're all combined right here around the prior day close of 523. About 30 seconds before the market opens. Now would be the time to take some deep breaths. If your heart's racing real fast, that means you're already getting emotional about the market opening. You should never feel that way coming into the opening bell. Should be calm. Calm, cool, and collective. Morning, James. All right, here we go. We got 3 seconds. Take your hand off the mouse. See what they're going to do here. Remember, I'm going to let them put in the 15-minute orb and go from there, because in the first 15 minutes, if we break this pre-market low right here and close on the 15-minute, now we can come down here and do whatever and sweep it. What matters is if the 15-minute candle closes below this structure. The 15-minute does, if the orb low is under this when it locks in, we're probably going to have to be bearish on the day for now. If the 15-minute closes and it's up here past the overnight high and closes on the 15-minute, then we can be thinking bullish on the intraday here at the start of the market. But it really takes this orb to lock in to know today, because the high time frame charts are really not looking that great. I'm sure there'll be people playing momentum here, possibly, if you're scalping, find the ATRs around 32. So just be careful, maybe size down if you are in the market right here at the open. Right now it's more of a 50-50 gambling ordeal than a trader plan, you know, because nobody knows what this is about to do. Kind of just be playing, rolling the dice here, honestly. Unless you can pinpoint and see the momentum coming in, I don't see anything going on like that just yet. You know, maybe if they run this candle back up and take his red candle out, but it's about to close, so that ain't gonna happen. Now maybe if this one does it, one big green candle takes that out, then okay. There'll be some momentum there to the upside possibly. Everything really is screaming bearish to me. So I'm not going to be surprised if it ends up going that way. But it ain't the first time everything has screamed bearish. A lot of times when everything is screaming bearish on the chart, sometimes make for the best long entries. Sometimes. Now the reason I say it don't really matter how far they come down here. Say they come down here and get in this imbalance. What matters is, do they push it back within structure on the 15-minute chart before that candle closes? So we can make a move to the downside, but just as easily push up. We'll have like 12 minutes or something before that candle closes. So if it came down in here and then got a fast push back up to the inside of the 15-minute structure, and that candle closes up here, well, then it's still probably going to be, it'd be really bullish, but I'd still feel kind of undecided if it comes down here and it just pushes back into the bottom of the structure, because it could do that and come up here and do a retest, you know, break of the 15 and then push back up and retest it for another leg down. So many possibilities on the table. Take them one at a time. Not jump into anything too fast, you know. Do push down there, what kind of reaction? Got like I think what it is, I think it's a daily trend line drawn on one of my charts that is down around like 350 right now, or on the current candle, on the current 15 minute would be 350. Of course, the farther to the right of the chart we get, price will go trend line lining. Plus, we're getting to the point to where we're really getting cooked on the downsides. Not really. Still go quite a bit. Not only could it go quite a bit, it could stay down there for a while. Just because it gets down there don't mean they got to bounce it. Wow, that figure's cold. Missed it by 5 points. You didn't chase it, did you? getting this push, and now here we go, lower low. Oh, see, we got like 7.5 minutes or so on the 15-minute candle, which is plenty of time for them to push this on back into the range up here somewhere. So actually still enough time to get down here and tag us prior day open, I think, is what down here, and then this imbalance. Prior day open, sitting right down here inside the 15-minute balance down. It's a nice flagpole, building a bear flag here. Remember now, everything screams bearish right before you get a great entry for a nice long. Not saying that's going to happen out of here, but it could. Still think they want more to the downside myself. See if they keep it within this range, because they're fighting right here. About 5 minutes left, over 5.5 minutes, 15-minute candle. And if it moves, if this moves and breaks out of this flag here to the upside, and I miss it, that's going to be fine. I'm not going to take it if it breaks out, because I still want to see the confirmation come from the 15-minute chart, and that price could end up here in the next 5 minutes, and I'll be okay with that too. There'll still be plenty of other trades that'll set up. Break out of the bottom side of that box. Got about 3.5 minutes on the 15-minute candle. They can push this candle back out, close it green on the 1 minute. Could be looking pretty bullish right Got about a minute and a half on the 15-minute candle. You know, if they push up, say, to the golden pivot or the bottom side of that 15-minute 50, just going to be so undecided about what I think they're trying to do here. Almost seems like maybe if they do, they're going to come up here and reject. Oh, though they're pushing back in. They got back above the pre-market low. They're going to close it, it looks like, above it. Above 480 looks decent. Wow. Closed. Put it right back in structure. Well, like I thought it might, but push back into the range. Was a nice long if anybody picked that stuck up there on that candle for a long here. Couldn't do it without I needed to see the confirmation that candle closed. Now, if they want to keep taking this down, they really don't need to get above 520. Dotted line just under the 1 hour low there, or whatever. Two-hour low. Although Cole's talking about some kind of monthly or weekly high at 535, it could come up with that and retest that. Well, checked. What a bullish little leg this has been. Got filled on the short play. Still on the sidelines waiting. You know, I see how it reacts in around that level. Eyes to the left. $15 balance. Bearish imbalance up here overhead. This blocks up here from 596 to 2. Guess I'm gonna just have some JOMO. Yeah, it's just awfully bullish after pushing out of that bottom down there. Too bad that I had to wait for the confirmation. Could have been in that. Did anybody get any of this long here? Did great job. Okay, got in it. in at 505. Was that your original entry? Did you add to your position? Wonder if they're going to turn this into a buy the dip. Now the 15-minute candle really needs to close up here, 80s, about where this wick is. Got like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, over 4.5 minutes to close. If they close that up here, then I'm gonna think, yeah, we might be into a buy the dip situation. As long as they don't hammer this back down here in the last over the next 4 minutes. Just kind of swept the pre-market high there, rejected, and swept that orb high. Might be a buy the dip. Just maybe. Keep them tight there. Right, because put those in the red right off that little shot, got them back to break even. Pretty bullish looking. Good job, Cole. Nice. Yeah, that leg made everything better there. Higher time frames. Sure. Ooh. Man, what was that? And then to throw a candle, something like that, into the upside. I'm gonna drive up another. Like it, put in that wick down in there to that around that area. Cole was trading at daily or weekly area, 535. At the 15-minute high, the 30-minute, the 1 hour, and the 2 hour, all in this line right here. You know, it'd be nice if we can break above that, stay above that. Maybe retest, keep climbing. That 4 hour high is up there where that previous day high is. 92 or so. All these highs here though. Get past this imbalance. Balance is practically. I'm gonna close my trade right there and wait because I don't like how hard it is for this to try to break right here. So it'd be better for me to just steer clear of that for now. Hey Cole, you enjoy your trip. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you when you get back. Appreciate you all the support that y'all show, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Nothing like the good old great outdoors, though, Cole. ATR sitting around 15, 16. They might be trying, if they're going to go into a slow grind or finally broke above highs and see what happens. Ending on momentum on the 1 and 2 minute, 5 minute as well. Getting close. Wouldn't hurt them to cool this off some. Drain the momentum down on the 5 minute. I just don't know if they're going to give it back. So worth do that. Coming back down, it's testing all them highs on that line there. Could be all it wants to come on down. Surely that, would be nice if they give us something down here inside this box. 5 minute 50. Barely drained any of the momentum off. The 1 and 2, 5 minute, they'll have plenty of downside to them. Plenty enough to get it down the box down bottom. I don't mean that's what they want to do. Pretty bullish, so. ATR is around 10, 11. Low ATR. They want to tackle that previous day high, possibly get the rejection up, maybe even R1 pivot, because that's real close to 700. And if they get up there, they'll probably sweep 700 more than likely. If they can get it there. Morning swing. Be nice if they'd give us a bigger flush, you know, to the downside here. Give us a decent flush to the downside, something that finds some support down here for a better drive up into that area instead of this slow grind. Now, even if they just got the 1 minute to be completely oversold, get that 2 minute down to the 50-yard line or better for a bounce, you know, down here pre-market high, orb high. Remont, it is. It is a nice pullback, better than what we had been getting inside a bullish run. So, how much they want to come down, and then find where they want their support from. Getting into this pre-market high and orb high now. Have his 5 minute 50 down here. Now that 2 minute down below the 50. Retest of the orb high. How low can you go? Trying to do here. Here's some imbalance down here on the 5-minute chart. $5.35 level again. That weekly high Cole was talking about lands on a 50% fib on that move for a pullback. So kind of what this wick did back here. So we really need to watch this 530 to 540 right here. See how it wants to react. Excuse me. Pull it off manually. Liked up right there. Hopefully this tries to protect here, drive us back up, see if they can keep moving us back to the upside. We're gonna have to get back above the, 375, 380. Would really like to see candle kind of close right where it needed to. So it's really still kind of unclear. If they want it, they need to push it here. Push it harder, you know. You get a good level like that, they need to move it. They need to move it up, not do all this chop. They move it up your direction pretty quick, a little more comfortable, but there could still be downside here, possibly. Now they really got these long wicks, and the way these are closing, you needed a big candle, something like they put one in here now and close up in this area above some of these EMAs. May still take a trade here. Patient with. There's a break of structure retest right there. On. Push. Push, push. It was a clean, nice green candle break, and this was the retest candle here. Wicked right down to the top side of that candle. All is tight though. Just try and get back to break even right now. I'm not going to try to load up too much. I could have got a better entry. Like had I kept my entry down here, I would have let it breathe a while and see how it builds. At this point, I just want to be break even today for right now. Nice fake take off. Run it back. Run it all the way back. Take out that high. Got a lot of room for expansion to the upside on the 1 and 2 minute momentum right now. So, I mean, it's possible, but they're going to have to quit chopping it. Candle over candle stuff. Right below the wick. Running into all them multiple time frame highs right there on this line that it's at. Need to get back above that. Can't get above that, then I'm going to close my trade there. That way I'm back in the green. And have to wait for something else set up. You know, if they can't break above all these highs right here, then it could be a lower high situation. Got all these highs here. Could be a lower high or another leg down. I don't really think that's what it is, but we don't predict, we react. So it could very well be a lower high or another leg down. That price came down and almost tagged that 50% fib, which lines up with that 535. Pole was trading earlier, weekly high or something. So I'm going to program that into my indicator level. Start plotting that for me as well. That way I don't have to worry about looking at it or finding it. Struggle seems to be pretty real there for right now. That would tell me there's really, unless I wanted to take a short play, kind of something like use a break above and stay above, maybe reach. fighting pretty hard around that line. Can't make up their mind. Side price actions so horrible. I would think ATR is around 18. Hard put. Close above that line. Push. Job swing. Now, if they get back up here and take out this high, this 15-minute high right here, they're going to this previous day high. They got to get there first. And I'm going to keep my stop right under that line there. I'm going to keep moving it. The higher they close, now if they can get up here and take out, say, 630, I stop up to the bottom side of that candle. They keep driving up. one of these structures that they can take out. It makes it even better for us on the long side. Take out 630, then get up here, take out whatever that is. Lock in. Goes again. Nice job, Swain. I only have one, so I'm trying to let my one do all the running it can. I stop tight for now. To push a little harder here and get up to 630. Oh, not really close enough. Maybe they just retested little bitty trend line. It don't matter that much. Going here. They can keep the grind going. 630, right to about 650, hopefully. Be in good shape if it does that. Good shape. Push. Kind of exhausted on the momentum. Overbought on the 1, 2, 5. Have a little bit of room to go. Not much. Take my 60 bucks or whatever I have right there. Base hit, it's getting me in a little better shape. And I'll just have to wait and look, see if I can find another something, another pullback or if you're out there enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash that like button on the stream. Helps push it on YouTube further. Helps us grow our community. If you're new here, let us know in chat so we can welcome you to the community. Get the 25 likes today, and I'm going to give away a copy of the Mindset book. Someone in chat. Good read to have on the side. If you're in the wrong headspace because of a trade, a losing trade, or anything. Good for many things. And there's like, I think the precision playbook and the mindset book and the precision trading course is all tagged to the. If you're interested in that, should be a button somewhere. I don't know what it looks like on that side, but it'll take you right to where you need to go if you want to dig a little deeper in. Probably gonna not stream for as long today. Probably streaming and maybe lunch hour or something like that, because I think I'm gonna try to trade. Do some stream. I might do some streaming in the Asian session tonight, or when the market opens right back up. Maybe say 6 to 8 or something. I don't know yet. James said you take off trades and then put them back on again is the reason on the management of trades, for example. Not letting trades go against you too far. Yeah, I mean, if I still, well, let's say that I get something that goes in the green. If it goes, depending on what it looks like across multiple time frames, I may give it a little more breathing room. And depending on what price action is doing, I may not. I might keep my stops tight, but if I believe in the trade and say I'm in the green and it ain't much, but I get stopped out and say it pulls back some more into the same zone or close to it, but I believe in the trade or the direction, the bias on it, then I'll jump right back in it sometimes. That's just part of me. I'd rather stop out and lock in a little bit of green than for it to go against me and sit through that, or and then it depends on if it's a position I want to add to. I might let it go against me to wherever it might invalidate and take the loss if the trade's invalidated, or I'll add, you know. And I'm not being as lenient right now because I got some fundeds tied to my copier. So I'm not I'm trading a mixed bag of stuff. And something like I said before, there's sometimes I'll put up more risk just on the eval side when I'm trading them. And then sometimes I don't. Try to trade them all as close as possible because that's how you're going to get consistent. If you trade your eval the same way you would trade your funded, then it's an easier transition to go from being eval to funded and still put money in there. But if you try to trade the eval crazy, say 1 or 2 days, and try to hit some huge home runs just to get to the funded part, and then try to trade the funded the same way, then it usually don't work out too well. Yeah, James, it is. I mean, yeah, I don't just jump into trades to be jumping into them. I'm constantly scanning the charts, constantly. I mean, I might have certain levels, pinpoint in my head when I'm scanning. I might come across some. It's like me drawing the imbalance box down here on this chart. I would more than likely 100% get long down here if we had a fast drop to this box, 15-minute low, 15-minute 50 EMA, prior day close is inside this box, and this is imbalance off the 5-minute chart. So, say they did 1 death candle, 2 death candle, 3, and smacked it, I'm probably going long there. I might even front load, which means I might have my order sitting there waiting to be tagged instead of waiting to see how it reacts. If I have enough information on my side, enough confluence for me to think that it's not just going to bust through it. But now if it slow grinds down to this box and say gets to 540 and it took forever to get down here, like however long, it was just a slow grind down, it might pierce through that level. So it's a lot of times it has to do with speed of how it gets there. Yeah, not all levels will hold. And even if it is a good level and has confluence, it don't mean it's going to hold. A lot of times though, it's because of news or something else. If it gets moving and blows through levels like they're not there, then it really ain't got nothing to do with the level itself as much as need to scan the news channel and see what just happened most of the time. which I don't do that either. I don't scan the news channel. You can just see the difference between a regular trading day and when news candles come in when something was said, because if news is involved, most levels never hold anyway. And then if you do have something like that and it starts blowing through levels, you have to start looking for your higher the daily, weekly, stuff like that. You have to look at that whenever you have things like that happen. I hope you caught all that. Looks like we disconnected and reconnected. So it probably got interrupted. Yeah, just because I wait for confirmation. Just because I miss half a move don't mean that it's a bad trade. Like this leg back here was going up. I missed it down here. I thought about taking it, but I was wanting to wait for a 15-minute confirmation before I would enter that trade. But after I get confirmation, then I still have to wait for entry. Just because the 15-minute candle confirmed that it closed back in range don't mean I should buy. It just tells me, okay, I need to be ready to look for some kind of long out of this area. And so I'll wait and wait until I see a good setup. Typically, it's going to take a pullback. You know, we're trying to get base hits. We're not trying to get home runs. If you trade base hits and stack them up, then your payouts is what you need to consider a home run, and not believe everything you see online, because there's not people out here trading every day making $50,000-$60,000 a day and catching this whole move. If they're saying that, they're lying. You know, watch them lie, make them prove it, because it's not happening. And if it is, they are gambling. I can tell you that. Have to be careful with all that out there. A lot of noise out here. You know, you don't need the whole move. Like, just need a portion. You need a base hit out of it. Base hit, lock it in, rotate to something else, or be done for the day. Because if you lock in, first you have to figure out what kind of number there is. Not necessarily a number you expect to hit every day, but say you go with $500. Not saying you got to make 500 every day, because one day might be 300, one day might be 600. You know, one day might be minus 200, one day 200, and then 500, whatever. But if you have a benchmark number that you try to do every day, you have to start there and then know to lock down. But you have to do the exact same thing on the risk side. You have to have a benchmark number that says, if I get my account this far in the red, I'm locking it out. I'm not going to take another trade today, no matter how good a trade looks. Just lock it down, walk away. Because if you lock it down, if you put a benchmark number there, say you don't want to lose more than $250 a day on the account. If you get $250 in the red, lock it down, walk away, because you survived to trade another day. Or you could be like a lot of traders will sit there and be $250 in the red and think, oh, one more. Add to their size, position size a little bigger. Next thing you know, they took another losing trade. Now they're 500 in the red, and the next one's about 1,000. And then on the third one, they're full tilt and they blowed something. Locking out and walking away keeps you in the right headspace. Come back the next day fresh and do it all over again. You can have a winning trade. You could have a winning trade plan. It don't mean you're going to win. You know, a winning trade plan can lose and still be a winning trade plan. Especially if you follow your trade plan and say your max loss is 250 and you lock out 250. To me, that's a winning trade. Whether you lost on the trade or not, it's a winning trade, because you followed your system, you followed your rules, stuck to it, you showed discipline. I went on kind of a rant there, might have got off a little bit of the subject there, but it's still at the same time. Yeah, what Swain was just talking about. Here's the thing. There's no You'd have to have a trade plan on why to get in down here. I had an idea of why to get in down here. I explained this all the way down here. But I said for myself, I wanted to wait for the 15-minute confirmation. Because, you know, there is such thing as entering too early before you have confirmation. And that's what makes a difference between it being a good trade plan and a bad trade plan. You enter too early and end up taking a loss, and you don't understand why. Well, because there are other things going on the higher time frame that needed to be paid attention to, and not just pay attention to the low time frame. I hope that helped, James. And it takes time. It takes time to get to wherever you want to be in your journey. I don't know how long you've been trading, but trading's not easy. It takes a lot of time and a lot of reps. Okay, good deal. Like it. Finally back up here to these highs. Yeah, absolutely. Like you wouldn't necessarily want to get into this trade right now where we're tackling this high where we rejected, especially with the momentum. You know, the kill zone is like, look at it down here on the 1 minute. I'm sure the 2 minute and 5 minutes ended like that. Yep, they are. And probably 15. Yeah, 15 minutes extended up into the same area. So once all your momentum is overbought like that, you really have to question whether to enter anything. Okay, I want my indicator to be up here when I go short most of the time, and I want it to be oversold by the green line when I go long. And this kill zone helps keep me out of a lot of trouble if I use it when I want to take my entries. But not all days are the same. I mean, I've taken trades with it up here overbought, but you also have to pay attention to the strength and price action and momentum, you know, because it can stay up here cooked on that line for the next 3 hours. And it could be chop or it could be slow grind. So then you have to make the choice of whether I want to put up risk and keep my wrist tight, you know. See, it's putting in these lower highs right here on this little leg. They're small, but they're doing it. I mean, if you want to get long, you can get long here, put your stop just below this wick. Each one of these wicks is higher than the previous. So if it keeps slow grinding, you just follow it up. Goes up, you move it to the next wick, because with what it's doing on the slow grind right now, it's not coming down far enough to tag anything. And you keep doing that until you finally stop out or you take profit somewhere. But this would be kind of a horrible place to take a long. Well, not kind, I mean it is. Unless we get a decent pullback right here. Well, and you know, it's not just so much about how extended the market is. You need to be worried about how extended the momentum is across several time frames and what key levels is it rejecting from, you know? A lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving pieces. If I get in trouble, I just cut the trade. There's no reason to try to manage it. Like, as far as trouble goes, I don't usually get in much trouble, because if it invalidates me, like if I get along here, I won out right here on this line, right under the 50 EMA on the 1 minute. You know, it's going to invalidate my long if it tries to break below this and close below that on a candle. It invalidates it. So I automatically manually close out of my trade if a candle closes below this little consolidation period right here with these wicks. That is now, unless I plan on holding because I know that it shouldn't break this. But if it does want to do a pullback and say I'm not oversized, say I only got one at the time, and I look at the structure to the left, I'm going to be looking, okay, so if I get in, what are we at 627, and I think it might come down here to 579, I'll hold one that far. That's not that bad in the red with one to see how it's going to react to this level. I'm like, well, we might break that one, but this one here will probably hold. And then I'll go look at the higher time frame charts. And then if I add to my position down here because it looks like it wants to, that's when you got to decide, okay, it didn't react down here the way I wanted it. So I'm manually going to cut my trade for whatever my loss is on that drop on 1 micro, or I'm going to add to my position down here. Now, when I do that down here, I may end up with more than 5. I might end up with 10 or better. But I only do that so that I get my price down here, and on the first bounce, I get out of the one that I had up here, and it drops my average all the way down to the bottom. So then any movement that I get to the upside, I'm locking in green. So really, you shouldn't get in trouble. You know, you should either be out or have a trade plan put together for if you plan on dollar cost averaging in. I don't advise people to dollar cost average in. It's something I'll do, but not for everybody. And unless you do it properly, too many people do it the wrong way, and I think that's why it's got a bad rap. Or just add the positions that are going your way, you know. Nothing wrong with doing that either. You know, you get into something and it's pushing and you're giving it room to breathe. It's kind of like the one yesterday on why you had asked me about being in it for so long. I stayed in it and left my stop so far away because I was anticipating a pullback because of momentum. The momentum had gotten extended on the lower time frames. It needed to cool off. So if you're in a winter and you know it needs to cool off and it might pull back, and once it pulls back and you see it confirm that it wants to bounce out of a level, say like this was happening now, once you get that first decent green candle, you know, you can add one to your position, moves your average up a little bit, depending on what the price is and how far apart it is. And then now you have 2 or 3 or however many, keeps going your way. If it keeps walking up, you move your stop tighter with structure, and then if it pulls back again and gets saved, you can add another one to your position. Keep doing it. Hey, my wife's good at that. Special K, she trades with us, trades every day. And she's all about. She's good at that, getting in. She was in one of these moves down here earlier today. Like, she was in it at a really good entry price. And normally she would add to her position, especially on all these little pullbacks, these red pullbacks here. She'd have added one. Before you know it, she'd be up $300, $400, $500, $1,000. One day she had it up $2,500, I think. No, that's not what I was saying. So say if I get in on this candle that we're on right now, 652, 653, but I expect it to pull, I might think it might pull back to say this little flag, this bear flag, it just built down here before it went up. If I buy my first one, if I only buy one up here and it drops down to here, say 625, 25 points away, give or take something. I have one up here where we're at, and it drops down here, and it does bounce. And say I buy 9 more, which will put me at 10. It'll move my average pretty close down here. Once the candle starts going my way, and we get say 5 points in the green or better, I'll sell one, which is this one, and it'll move my average down to the lowest price I entered at, which is usually down here. It's why a lot of my entries when I dollar cost average in will be in some of these wicks sometimes. and it'll turn around and price be way up here. I don't take no loss. It all goes in the green. It just helps you get a better position entry and more breathing room on the trade. Now, if you average down here and it keeps going against you in the red and you take one off, it'll still move your price, and that's where your loss comes from. You have to wait till it goes. It's a timing thing. When you do it, you're expecting it to go green your way enough to at least get out of the ones that you have 5 points or better and move your average. It automatically moves your average down. But a lot plays on the timing and finding the right entry and waiting for, to see some sort of confirmation across them charts of, all right, they acting like they got support, they're starting to bounce. You might see momentum coming in, and it might even be 10 points. The further in the green you let it get before letting go of that one, the better, yeah. But if you're in at 625 or 650 up here where we're at, and it drops to 625, and you buy 9 more, it's going to drop your price closer, probably 630 or so, maybe even down a little further. And so it don't have to go up a whole lot for you to get 5 or 10 points and sell the one that you had. Just sell one. Moves the whole price down. There's plenty of my videos out there where I've done that. And it don't always work. That's why you have to be ready to cut your trade, because if you add to your position here and add 9 more, now you got 1 minute. So you need to know, I need to cut this trade, if it breaks below the candle to the left. Regardless of anything. Ain't no, let me see if it sweeps it and confirms and comes back up. You just need to be done with the trade. Because if you sit there and hold and hope, next thing you know, it's way down here and you done got 1 minute. And then you're really in the red. Still manageable, but most people get caught up in their emotions when it comes to that, if they're not used to trading with any kind of size. And I practically, this is all education purposes only. I try to keep everybody safe. Nobody should be following what I do. You should have your own trade plans. Plan your trade your plan. ATR is just under 10 now. It's definitely a slow grind. It's slow grind to the upside. Got through that high there. See if they can do anything about it. Keep moving up. finally going to get up there to that 4-hour high, previous day high. Maybe see some projection up there, maybe. How's everybody doing on the day so far? Red, green, both? Neither. Still sitting on the sideline. Flat is a position. Some red on one. All green right now. 7, I think. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash that like button. Get to 25 likes. I'll give a copy of the Trader Mindset book away to someone in chat. Just at 6 likes so far today, we get to 25. We can get this push to 1,000 subs. So I do a see here. What got like I think I still need 147 subs to get to 1,000. I think that if we get to that by next Friday, I'll probably do something a little bigger giveaway maybe. I probably, if I could just find one more decent trade or something to give me a decent base hit and get these over 100 or 100 something, I'll probably lock them out. Rotate something out. Need to put no crazy number in them. Nice base hit. ATR is pretty low. I mean, it's like at 8. It's pretty low this time of day for what we've been seeing. Makes it even the worse. Trying to get some kind of trade plan put together when all they want to do is slow grind this whole instead of give us some type of pullback to get into. While I wait for something to set up worth taking, putting in some walking on the treadmill. Keep that mind sharp. Keep that blood flowing. James, how long are you what are you allowing yourself for the trade plan to move? I mean, how far are you letting it go against you before you cut it? And how long have you been trading? I know I asked that before and never seen an answer. How much trading do you have under your belt? $3 years. 30, $40. What, 15, 20 points or so? It seems that, I mean, if you're keeping your wrist tight like that and still able to get that, it seems like it would be an entry problem to me. Maybe go back and do you do much back testing? Going back, I mean, and not just journaling, but reviewing trades, on the chart. Little push they got going on. They're gonna get in there and smack that previous day high. Check. Break and keep trying to go. That's all time high. There. Excuse me. Yeah, the market can definitely get erratic like that, but that's when you got to be available to market conditions change. You have to be able to change with them, adapt to them, and have more than one setup or one tool in the toolbox, and be able to put different trade plan together. But it's definitely the market is not on our side. You know, sometimes some trade plans get completely invalidated. Like earlier, I took a short trade, took a loss on it, no big deal, because it looked like it was ready. It looked like it's exhausted, and they needed to pull it back. Well, I did it before this drop back here. They finally did do it, but I was too early on it, and it want to keep pushing. And so and so then I didn't even play this one because once I got invalidated, I was like, well, I just need to be looking for the pullbacks to go long instead of trying to short. And almost on any trend where it's bullish, anytime, especially if the higher time frame is bullish and the intraday is bullish and they're doing these grinds like this, you should almost always keep shorts out of your head, really. Because the better play any day of the week when the market's like that is to wait for some type of pullback to go long. Shorts are a lot easier to play in a bearish market. Not that you can't short in a bullish market, because I have, and I will. You just need to be real careful and accept the fact that keep your wrist tight, and if it hits your stop, just take the loss and keep moving on. Maybe don't try to short again like I did earlier, at least not anytime soon. I appreciate that, James. No, I have no emotion when I'm trading, when I'm in a trade or anything. Only thing I have is trade plan and discipline. Emotion stays at the door when I come in here and get on this computer. No room for that here. Not any day. Now, is there some days? Yeah, because no matter how long you've been trading, and no matter how good a trader you are, uh, you'll hear plenty of professional traders talk about it. You know, you can keep it at bay, keep the emotions out, but there's always going to be somewhere along the way that it creeps back up on you when you're in a trade. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be this month, but there'll come a trade where it does happen. Don't get me wrong. But on the day-to-day basis, no, not really. I mean, but I'm not going to say it won't ever happen because I'm just human, you know. I know that sooner or later, my emotions are going to creep up on me here or there. I didn't used to be calm. I can tell you that. I used to be all the opposite of who I am right now as a trader. I think anyway. I feel like I was. It just comes with time and putting in the reps. I mean, I don't know. You said you've been trading 3 years. I've been trading full time for 3 years. I've been trading a lot longer than that. Now, if you're trading part time 3 years, it's going to be hard to do. I wasn't. A lot of things changed for me when I decided to step into this world with both feet. When I was doing it part time, and I thought I had a grip on things and understood what was going on, I had a rude awakening when I went to start doing it full time. It was like I didn't really know anything, which sounds kind of weird, but that's how it felt. Maybe it's because I didn't. When I was doing it part time, it was just like a side thing, and maybe I didn't put enough attention and focus into it and study and do a lot of the things I should have done while I was doing it part time. That way, when I jumped head first into it, it just seemed like I had to learn everything all over again. There was so much knowledge out there, so many things to learn. It felt like so many more things to experience. that ATR is around 8, 7 and 8 still. Not a whole lot going on. We're up here building a flag or shelf here. Not sure how to react to this previous day high and the 4-hour highs up here. Maybe they give us a decent drain off here. Maybe something enough to drain off momentum and pick it back up and march it back up through there maybe. Appreciate that, Remod. What's the matter, Remod? You trying to get that book? I think you're one of the only ones that, one of the original OGs that ain't got it yet. Yeah, I appreciate it. You never know. Some people might not even know where the like button is. You know, I don't know. Some people always talk about being they're not tech savvy and this and that. I mean, things I don't know. We went on a binge there where it was like it wasn't nothing to get 25 every day. Now it just like we can get there. It does help grow the community though, Remond. And the further it gets pushed out there, the more likes or comments and everything else. It's all about the analytics, the numbers for the algo to pick it up and keep pushing it out there further. Did an itty bitty pull back and a wick down and push up off the 50 on the 1 minute. Hit the EMA on the 1 minute. I kind of want to take a long out of this spot right here to tag that high, but I can't do that because I don't want to put up the risk on that trade, really. Even if I just take one micro, I still don't want to do it. Not on that. I'd rather see some kind of better pullback or let them go on and decide that they want to break the high and then maybe retest that high as a retest and get a long entry if they want to keep grinding up. I appreciate you hitting that like button, James. Somebody posted in the P&L on the Discord. Cole posted in there this morning. He done got off on his adventure. He locked in just over $400 on his evals, and then kept wrist tight on his funded. He's live with Take Profit, and look at that. He kept it tight. $71.80. account. He must have been copy trading, but that's tight risk. He said that's enough. I'm about to go out here into the wilderness, and I'm going to let it be what it is. Then KCAP posted in a few screenshots, 350 to 404, 1200, another one. Good job, KCAP. Nice. Walk on the treadmill, they break the sweat. Almost got a mile. Like come down there and tag that 50 on the 1 minute again, that not paying attention. So it's protecting on the 1 minute. One push out, another push out. Good little scalps. Pick it up around there. Push back up. 10 points easy, maybe a little more, a little less. Look at them acting like they want to get the break. They want to break the high. They don't get some kind of hard rejection up here, and then can break 700, and might see something else on to the upside, you know. Thinking about taking a short here, putting a stop just above that wick, but seems too bullish. Plus, there's momentum to the and still expand to the upside. Got it. Stop me out. Well. Gotta be careful with shorting on a bullish trend for sure. Maybe they try to push it on up to say the R1 pivot, maybe find some rejection up there possibly. At the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, and 2 hour high, all here at the new high. So badly want to short this, but hard for me to do since it's so bullish. I don't know if I should try it or not. Might get some type of manipulation of downside though. Via, this 30-minute low right here at 650 or so. Like a good spot maybe if they want to pull it back some, drain the momentum for another bounce, maybe to come up here and actually get through all that instead of just slow grinding up here. pullback I see going on here. Once again, they're protecting at the 50 on the 1 minute. Protected that pretty good. Back here, closed on it, pushed right back out of it. Come down, tested it, pushed out of it, touched it, about touched it. Went through it a little bit, but then pushed out and closed above it. So the 50's acting pretty nice on the bull trend right now. Of course, they wouldn't give us any kind of pullback. It's a little better, you know, drain it off a little better. I was talking about that 30-minute low there. Maybe they want to protect this. Well, now this is 15-minute imbalance as well. You know, they could have came back and touched the top of that. Been plenty of times they come back and touch 15-minute imbalance just to the top and don't even feel it bounce. But instead, they wanted to do this. Of course, entries are going to be at the 50 on the 1, not up here at the high. See if they reject out of that ceiling again, come down again, maybe try to come up further, or maybe they just come down and get the 50 again, you know. This. Wow. New all-time high. Coming into the pivot. much we can do with the price action here like that. Like if you want to trade, you have to wait for a pullback to the 50 or the trend line there. Well, 10 market time. PR is just under 10. I want to see them pull back to about 680, 681, 82 here and see how it reacts. That'd be pretty close to the trend line. Yep, I hear you, Swain. Won't be long and I'll probably be done with it for today. More than likely. Just can't even get a pullback. Nothing meaningful anyway. Excuse me. Be one of those fake out pullbacks. Make it look like maybe they want to drain it on down some, or they just tag the 50 on the 1 minute, 50 EMA bounce. Just as well stay away from it, stay out of the chop until it decides it wants to do something real. Either a real pullback or maybe get above the R1 pivot and see how it reacts there if it wants to keep grinding. But either way, I'm going to stay on the sidelines for now. I'm pull it back. See if this shelf here protects where the 15-minute low. Because if they can come down here, if they break this first box on the 15-minute chart, then we probably got some more downside in play. Ideally, they'll get down here and either tap the top of this 30-minute low, maybe even fill this 15-minute imbalance, and get a nice bounce here. If they come there, I mean, they could keep it up here and keep grinding it. Yep, yep. going on, Silent? Hopefully it gets better for you. Well, James, because right now I'm not really trying. I don't really want to scalp. Really, I'm waiting for expansion one way or the other. You know, I need to see a decent move to the downside or to the upside so they can kind of reset what's going on. I'll really consider some chop stuff I don't want to be part of. You know, like I said, I need to see. I want to see a downside move down into this area. See how it reacts. If I get it, great. If I don't, oh well. I'm fine with that too. I don't have to take a trade. But if I'm gonna be willing to enter the market, it needs to be on my terms, not the market's. All right, so they act like they want to pull it back here. Now I'm telling you, the 15-minute candle has 8 minutes to close, 8.5. If that candle closes below this box, this first box, then we're probably going to see something towards the bottom side of these boxes, possibly the 5-minute 50, if it does. See how it's pushing? They could push this. They push this candle green on the 1 minute. Well, they're not going. Well, they could. 7 seconds left. We'll see. They got real close to tapping the top side of this line. I said they may just come down and tap this line and then reverse it. Yeah, that's what that is there. 15-minute imbalance on the chart. Or it's close to. I might not have drew exact, but it's close enough. And then we got the 30-minute low there. Plus all this back here. You know, they got this shelf built. You see it, got these wicks here. So only time can tell. We'll see if it's going to get down here, if they're going to turn it here. Now this is why it's hard for me to even take a trade right now, even though it's down here. Even if it does turn, is because the 15-minute candle has 7 minutes on it, and now I feel like I need to wait 7 minutes to see where it closes, because this could bounce up here but then reject, still come down here and close on the 15. James, it's imbalance on the candlestick. Space left behind it needs to be filled. I'm not really going to go in. It's all part of the precision trading course. I'm not going to go over all that on here and a lot of other things. I think they might want to turn it. Still got over 5 minutes on the 15-minute candle. You know, they could come to the 50 on the 1 minute right here. Say 678 or 6 whatever. 676, 78 right here. If they want to keep climbing, because they could reject this and still leg this down. They got time to do it. Or they want to stay bullish, you know, and keep driving it up. ATR sitting around 15, close to it. Still have a little over 3 minutes on the 15-minute time if it wants to try to keep pushing down some. James, I don't know. I don't know who all's on here has the course. I mean, it really, if you have any questions about that, because I'm not going to try to sell it to you, sell you on anything. But if you have questions about it, best thing to do is go into the Discord and look for elite members. Their Discord handles are blue. Their names are. Anybody over the blue name is an elite member, and ask them questions. And a lot of people, no two traders trade the same, but people, they implement things that they learn in their own way, and build their own plans and how they want to trade a strat and everything else. Maybe add things to it, take things away, or whatever. No two traders will trade the same way just because of the psychological side. Even if they did trade the same plan, they're not going to get the same outcome. Like the start of building some type of little W here, and maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, James. I don't know. I mean, I'm basically here for educational purposes. Reading market structure and doing a little teaching along the way. A lot of that does come from experience, I'd say. I mean, I've been on charts for a long time, but I don't talk as much about strats and this, and that. I mean, basically everything in the course is about first and foremost being able to read market structure, and then adding things of confluence to it, like precision entry zones and imbalance zones and zone boxes, pivot points, and etc. More other things, and risk management and some other things, and just there's a whole, you can go look at it and it tells you about all the modules and all that. But then I've added things since. I'm gonna have to do a 2.0 probably over the summer. Maybe I'll get around and do it. Take some time though. No, I've never had a mentor. Not one time. Everything I do, I've self-taught myself, and self-educating myself and learning what I can, and then testing things. You know, if I found something or I seen somebody and I thought it was worth looking into, then I would look into whatever they were saying. I still do that all the time. Yeah, I've made plenty of mistakes along the way. Still make mistakes. I've just added things, back when I did my course, mainly the not changed in that manner, but like I got all these different confluences of time frames and candles and EMAs, these indicators that I built that are mapping things on my chart on the 1 minute intraday from the higher time frames. I mean, I've added that stuff. I didn't used to have none of that. I just added all that here. I don't know, pretty recent, because I was tired of I would be looking at those time frames on a trading view chart and then putting it on my chart on the stream. It just got to be too much, so build an indicator to do it on its own. But there are modules that I can add, to the course, not just about these levels, but there's just more stuff to add, and that's to be expected. Everything's always evolving, but the strat's always been the same. It's about structure and precision entry zones and imbalance and pivot points. Just now there's some of these other levels. We're working on that new 15-minute candle. It never came down here. It looked like they wanted to turn this around, maybe put that W in right here. Bring it back up to almost 700. That'd be nice. I don't know anything about ICT. Never even looked it up. I've heard of it. No, I don't know anything about it. But there's words in the trading world that get crossed over. I don't know what an imbalance is in ICT. I know what it means to me. I have realized there's a lot of acronyms out there of different types of trading, like ACT or ICT and something else, like a bunch of 3-letter something or another. Don't pay much attention to it. Well, glad I thought about getting in that long. I'm glad I hadn't messed with it. So I told somebody once before, because they brought up fair value gap on here. If you truly know the reason, that's the exact same thing is what I'm calling an imbalance. The problem is I've seen a group of traders argue about what a fair value gap was before more than once, and argue about who was right. So instead of having to deal with somebody trying to argue with me about what a fair value gap is, I just call it imbalance zone. It takes all that away from it. I'm not going to argue with nobody about what a fair value gap is because they learned the wrong way, obviously. I don't know much about it. I mean, if the strat works, the strat works. I've heard pros and cons about several different things over the years. Not each strat is worth a trader's time. Some traders trade differently. Somebody might like ICT and do well with it, and another trader may not. That's why you have to find a strat that works for you and stick with that if you can become consistent. But now, if you jump from strat to strat and you keep losing with every strat that you use, then you got to sooner or later look in the mirror, because then it is more about the operator than the strat. And you should always remember that at some point, not the strat, it's the operator. So, that mean, and not, you can take a great strat and put it in undisciplined hands and it's going to lose every time. In the short in this short, not necessarily a bad place to short. I don't know though that got to close on the 15-minute for me to think we're getting more downside. We got 7 minutes. A nice short. Keep that wrist tight. It's hard to say what they're going to try to do down here out of this area. ATR sitting around 7 or 8. They're not showing a lot of good signs of push out of here just yet, but it looks like they might want to do that. even though the ATR is low. Although we still have 3.5 minutes on the 15-minute candle. Ideally, that 15-minute candle needs to close back inside of this 15-minute low up here. Say 55, 655 or so. I think, yeah, that's right, James. I think what they're mainly talking about though is the waiting part. Boring trading is profitable trading. Patience goes a long way. You know, you wait for I call them sleeper trades. If you put a trade plan together and it's like your A+ trade, a lot of times you'll fall asleep waiting for price to come to you as in you're sitting in that nice chair with that rod in the water waiting for a fish to bite. You fall asleep because it's a patience game. But yeah, they really don't intertwine their real emotional side. That's a bad comparison, really, when you think about the emotional side. I've never been emotional sitting in a chair fishing. Try this long here. I'm going to put a stop back down under here and see if they're going to try to walk this out or if they're going to try to come back down below this box. Said, oh, Vindy just went long. Let's go down there and stop him out first. They still got about 1.5 minutes. The 15-minute candle hadn't closed yet. I should have waited on that anyway. I didn't. And that's why you should see I broke a rule. I didn't wait for confirmation of it. But say that they can push this out of here and get it back to the 50 on the 1 minute up here, pretty close to it. You know, I'll probably put a stop in. If I get green here, I'll put a stop in. Probably pretty tight, maybe. Really seems like they're kind of ready here on the 1, 2, and 5 minute. They have a lot of room for expansion to the upside. That don't mean we'll get it, you know. Yeah, I know that's right, James. I've never done that, but I'm pretty sure that'd be pretty fun. Yeah, I can only imagine having something that big on the end of a rod out in the ocean. It's about 12:45 market time. We got about 27 seconds left on the 15-minute candle. It really needs to push back up right here in the last few seconds and get above that 15-minute low. Not looking good now that we're at the end of that 15-minute candle. This is why I should have waited for confirmation in the first place. So that's on me. But I'm willing to put up the risk anyway. I'll take the loss if it tags me out. Although the 15-minute candle didn't close on the outside of this box, which is what I was saying we would probably need if we want to see a lot more downside. So this could be the way right here. Just depends on who wants it the most, the bears or the bulls. I'm gonna cut my trade right there. I don't like it. I could have waited for my stop to be taken out, or I could have waited till I got back green, but I don't like the price action. I had to let it go. Plus, I can stay in the green. I'm not trying to risk giving too much of that back. Oh man, look at that. Wouldn't you know I cut my trade? Oh well. Too late now. Oh, what do you mean, James? As in, like, because things are optional as far as some of the things I'm saying? Well, it's because well, let's say here, what's a good way to put it? So I kind of built what I built as far as the brand because every time I tried to look for something out there, I could never find what I was looking for. I never found anybody that was really putting a whole lot of effort into educating and just doing a whole lot of other things. You know, they say, here's this strat, and, you know, whatever the percentage winning ratio was or whatever. And was never anything else out there about it. You know, just here it is. This is what you got to do, which tended to always be more like you had to find if you was better off to find something if you could take that and piece it together in a better manner. Because it was like y'all was talking about ICT. They make it. I've heard that a lot about how they make it hard to understand what's going on. And I've never looked into it, so I don't know, but I've heard that a lot. I try to build something that is easier to understand, but you got to understand, you know, just because I might take a trade, or like I just took that trade down there that I went ahead and closed, and now we're getting this nice little run. I mean, you have to do what's comfortable for you. I know that if I had my stop set down there because I was willing to take that risk as my max. And look, I should have never even closed the trade. It never did. It never went back far enough to hit my stop because I had it under the lowest low there, and then it took off. So that's on me. So I left money on the table. But in trading, just because I might trade levels or precision entry zones and pivot points and imbalance zones or any of these other high time frame candles, highs and lows, or previous day high low. I mean, these are all levels that I use in my strat. My strat ain't boiled down to I'm waiting for this pattern to hit this block and then target this profit against this much risk and all that. Everything is optional by the trader. I mean, I can't explain, I tried to, everything I'm looking at while we're on stream, but if somebody else is just watching my stream and not paying attention to everything else, there's things that I'm probably looking at that I might not mention on the stream, not because I'm not trying to, but because I'm doing a lot of work on the back side of this when I'm looking at my trades. The key is to know key levels though. you know, supply and demand and all anything with higher time frame, and then be able to correlate that into a lower time frame structure. Mad at myself. Put that trade right. Oh wait, still in the green. Yeah, I seen you silent talking about 635. I don't know if it's 635 I was thinking about. I might be 535. Because 535 was like a weekly or a daily high or something, yeah, back here that come down and retested and took off on this run. You're looking at 635. Down here and some more of this imbalance down. I missed a train on that one as well because I cut bait too fast. With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream for the day because I plan on probably streaming in the evening session, the Asia set when it opens up, and so I don't want to stream all day today and then turn around and stream some more tonight. So I'm gonna call it a day here. Plus, it's going into lunchtime. I need to eat. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Appreciate everybody showing up and showing out and hanging out and trying to lock in some green. I'll see everybody back here, same place, same time tomorrow.